should be good. Okay. All right. Probably should have done this first. But... You good?
What are you doing with my cake?
I'm putting it over here.
How am I going to drink out of it?
Well, you asked me for it, and I'll give it to you.
I got to ask for it.
We're not. Look, we're not supporting Dr. Pepper.
How you gonna get endorsed if they don't say, "Hey, these people drink Dr. Pepper"? You're not the right person to see that and go, "I'm gonna sponsor these guys."
Turn the logo. No, put it up there. Turn the logo.
No.
What about it, everybody? Welcome to the You Ain't Stuck podcast. A little technical difficulties right quick, but I can. Anyways, I'm Neil Knight. I'm your host. My guest today is Dusty Phillips, Trey Phillips, walking, talking legend from Broadway, North Carolina. If you don't know where Broadway is, it's a little bitty town right here in Lee County, which is central North Carolina. I've known Dusty most of my life. I've known Trey since he was little.
Most of his life.
Yeah, well, probably almost all your life, right? But anyways, I've worked with Trey professionally, and I've Dusty with different causes, maybe, different nonprofit type stuff, raising money, stuff like that. So I feel like they'd be good. I feel like it'd be a pretty good conversation today. Dusty, tell us a little bit about yourself. That way the viewers will know something about you. A little bit of background.
Born and bred here in Lee County. Lived here all my life. Raised my family here. Married 31 years this year. And, I don't know how she's put up with me. But,
me neither.
Pleasure to be here today. First and foremost, it's a privilege to be here with you today and be asked to come down here. What You Ain't Stuck means to a lot of people. I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but a lot of times it's the only churching that a lot of people get. Yeah. And the things that you guys talk about sometimes and the points you drive home are some things that a lot of us need to hear. Mm-hmm. And I'm thankful for the fact that the good Lord put stuff on your heart to talk about, and that you've got a platform available to get that out to people, because it's important that people hear the word. A lot of people are scared to step into a church. Yeah. So they may be at home scrolling through their phone, and I think it's a positive thing that you're doing. I'm really proud of what you're doing and taking a step out, and no matter what you do, when you do something along that line, you get the praises, you get the criticisms. Yeah. But you're following what I think the good Lord has asked you to do, and I'm proud of you and the rest of the guys for doing it, having the courage to do it.
Man, that's what it's about. It's about the one. It's not about us. It's about the one. It's not my name. It's God's name.
Amen.
Trey, tell us a little bit about background on you. That way the viewers have something to go off on you too. Now, say something. Come on.
I'm Trey. That's my dad. Born and raised here in Broadway. Known Neil for, how old am I, 31? About to be? Yeah, 31 years.
Couple times. You know me for many moons now. A little while.
Kind of been all over the place. Went to school here and all that. Went to college in Tennessee for a little bit. Then went to college in Greensboro, and now back here figuring everything out.
You get it figured out. You let me and Neil know.
Yeah. Preach.
Preach on, brother.
Preach. And this episode is brought to you by Sprite.
That's right. Cornbread pudding.
Cornbread pudding, my man. Oh, man.
This Dr. Pepper guy's going to be mad.
So, man, over the years, we've been in some heck of conundrums, I would say. This podcast doesn't focus on just one particular subject matter, I guess you would say. It kind of concentrates on life in general. You know what I'm saying? Like it tries to we try to bestow a little knowledge on everything we can, so to speak. So, like me and Dusty were talking earlier, Trey, and when I called him, now you got to understand something. I literally called Dusty, 4 hours ago? Now we had talked previously about him being on the podcast. We never really had a date lined up. Now, the intro podcast, the pilot episode, whatever you want to call it, I explained like this technology thing might as well be Korean to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's one of
Trey's
them
over
young-
here
young
manipulating.
bucks.
Yeah, he's manipulating microphones and all kinds of stuff. I'm glad I didn't know the microphone done that thing like that, which is good to know.
Good to
You
know.
know, but anyways, I called him 4 hours ago, and he said, "Huh, cash that check. I'll be there at 6 o'clock." And it's probably 6:20, something like that now. But anyways, I appreciate you being here. It means more than you know. But you had mentioned something about church this morning, and how you actually attend the same church that I'm a member of now, or I've been a member my whole life. And how long you been going to Jennifer now?
Well, I mean, it was my wife's family church, Juniper Springs Baptist Church down here in Broadway, and it was her family church. And I'm a lot like a lot of the folks out there. You know, for most of my life, it was hit and miss with church with me.
Okay.
You know, the wife would take the kids, and I would have something else to do on Sunday, and then I'd have a heartache or whatever, and it's time to run to church.
Yep.
And once I got my heart healed, it was time to run back to the real world.
Yeah.
And you know, as you get a little older, you get a little more wisdom. And I try to make it to church down there. Eddie Thomas, our pastor, has been really, really good, and he's been good for the church. He's been really, really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's somebody that, you know, having somebody that you can relate to, somebody that that's may have traveled the same roads that you've traveled.
Yeah. Been able to
And when he
relate.
yeah, exactly. When he talks, he's
Relate.
talking about himself, and you're like, "Hey, I know the guy you're talking about. It's me." He said, "No, it's me. No, it's me. No, it's me." You know,
Yeah.
we're not as unique as we think we are.
No.
Especially as men, we go through stuff, and we think we're the only ones going through it. But
We're
you
not.
know, when we think about it, you know, and get down into the nitty gritty, and get to talking with our peers, we find out that we all go through the stuff in life.
Yeah. Well, you had said something a second ago, and something just kind of, I think about it constantly, especially in the adult world, not necessarily man, but also women. You know, a lot of Sundays, you know, the way we have to provide for our families, we have to work on a Sunday. You know, like myself, you know, being in law enforcement, I only get 2 Sundays off a month.
Right.
You know, and my daughter just went to college, so I skipped church today to spend time with my wife this morning. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get that quality time in with her because, you know, I ain't gonna lie, it's emotional. The house, there's a different ambiance in the house right now because it's empty, so to speak.
Been there, done that.
The
buddy.
dogs
Been
there,
done
but
that.
you know, you're expecting your child to walk around the corner, and that's emotional. I'm enough of a man to tell you I cried whenever I was leaving on my way up there, and it sucked. I'm not gonna lie, but the point I'm getting at is there's a lot of times that people can't make it to church because they're having to provide for their family, and there's a certain feeling that comes along with that. I think everybody would agree with is you feel kind of like crap, like you know you should be in church, but you're trying to make money to keep the lights on or put shoes on your youngins' feet or food in their belly.
Yep.
You know, so I try to explain to people that just because you go to a church on Sunday, God expects you to be the church the rest of the week.
Amen.
Because there are people that can't go to church or they may not feel comfortable going to church like you were saying. And they depend on you to set the example, to be the light in the darkness, to show them what a relationship with Jesus is about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, it says in the book, we are the church.
100%.
The church we attend there is with the walls, and I got a man up there that is simply a man that knows the book better than I do. He's gone through the training with it, but he's also gone through the hardships and the hard times that I have. And a preacher that don't have a past, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't really
I
relate
like
to
it,
somebody.
you know. But yeah, you're talking about dropping your daughter off at college, and we dropped Trey off in Tennessee. And I unloaded him. We had to haul all that stuff. I had to haul all that stuff up there. Me and Wendy got in the car to leave, and I got 2 blocks, and I had to pull into some, I don't know, Dollar General or something. And I broke down like a mother dropping her kid off at kindergarten for the first day, and I boo-hooed for 30 minutes before she could get me right to dadgum bud and drive back to North Carolina. We don't, you know, we spend all our lives raising kids and providing for them like you talk about.
Yep.
when I was in the, you know, what got my family raised and our bills paid, I was in the car business for 16 years. And,
Yep.
you know, the hours I worked in that, um, Sunday, I spent most Sundays just sleeping. I was wore out.
Yep.
Turned the key at 7 that morning at the dealership and generally turned it again about 9:30. You missed all kinds of things. You missed ball games. You missed everything. But you had to do what you had to do to provide for your family.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people out there to watch your podcast. And that's what I like about what I do now and the folks I work with. My customers now are construction guys, they're farmers, they're blue collared, hard working folks.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, these farmers, the cows have got to eat.
Yep.
They ain't had a vacation in 5-6 years.
Exactly.
These construction guys, they got a $1,500-$1,800 a month payment on a piece of equipment, and they're crawling out there in that piece of equipment at 5:30 in the morning on a cold piece of steel to make a living for their family.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
you know, and as men, that's what's expected of us, and that's what we have to do to live, thrive, survive, and keep the lights on and the food on the table.
And the silent struggle. Trey, you'll even agree with this. I feel like a man, because I can't speak, so to speak, on how a woman feels. As an adult, I can, but not as a woman because I've never been a woman. I know how another man can feel. You know, when you pull up from work, I made a video on this a while back. So when you pull up from work, you've had one of them days, like you have fought every day. I mean, from the time you woke up trying to just fight, get pillow off your head.
And got your butt whooped.
I mean, it just stomped your butt.
Stomped it.
You know, and then by the time you get back home, you sit in the car. The whole ride home is just quiet. You ain't got the radio on, nothing. It's just bone quiet, trying to slow your mind down. You get home and you're looking at the front door, and you just need a minute. You know, my wife she's come out there to the car before. She don't do it anymore because she understands what that time is. That's I'm trying to get to neutral time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like every man that's a provider goes through that to a certain extent, at least.
Yeah. I need to breathe.
Yeah.
I need quiet.
I just need to be quiet for a second, let everything get back to neutral, and then when I go in this house, I'm about to play hide and seek with them youngers or just Nerf gun war or whatever. You know, the hecticness is starting. You know, and I can't tell you, and that's when I started really, back in my younger days, that's when I really would pray. You know, like those true prayers, like, God, I've had a heck of a day. Give me the peace to be able to go in this house and act like I didn't just witness what I just witnessed. Or I didn't go through what I just went through. And my child has my full attention. You know what I'm saying? As a father or as a husband. You know what I'm saying? Even before my daughter was born. And man, that peace that I would get, you know what I'm saying? It really, truly helped me. You ever had that, Trey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, not much of a provider. I got no kids or anything like that, but it's,
Yeah, I've been praying for triplets for you.
I'm working on it, man.
But no, I mean, I'll have days and nights at work where it's just nonstop from the time you walk in, the time you leave. Not just from the public, from the people you work with. It never ends, and it feels like, no matter how much good you do, it doesn't really matter because something else bad is going to end up happening.
Yeah.
No matter what. And yeah, I had a lot of quiet car rides on the way home and a lot of half hours sitting in the front yard at the house just staring at nothing. That's a real thing.
Well, and that's what we have to recognize as parents, as men, as adults, is know that we're not the only people that feel this way. You know what I mean? Like me and you've had some pretty in-depth conversations, me and Trey from time to time, and you realize that a lot of stuff you're thinking about, I'm thinking about too. It may be on a different level, different subject matter, but the same feelings and emotions that you would get, I would get too, to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
situation may be a little bit different, but
go.
the root is the same.
That's it.
It's from the same plant.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And what I've realized is a lot of the stuff that I worry about, the things that encompass me and the stresses and the anxieties of this life that I have is stuff from my past. It's things that I can't control anymore. You know, the devil's bad about throwing crap back in your face. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize that, and when that happens, I try to recognize it, and I give it to God, and I try to move past it. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, one of the things that I want to bring up with that, you know, and we all said, I gave it to God.
Yep.
I gave it to God. The hardest thing for me and myself, you know, number one, um, as a provider for the family, and I don't just mean for my wife and my kids, I mean for my mother, my sister, you know, anybody that's connected to me right there, you know, they, and it does, I got you. Neil, I got you. You know, and when things are out of our control right there, like that, we tend to, okay, now I'm humbled, God, and I'm gonna give it to you. The hard part is truly giving it to him. We're gonna take it, you know, we'll take it to him in prayer. We'll take it to him, dog. We'll do all this. Did we truly leave it there? Get quiet, get still, and listen to what it is he told us. And did we obey it? Did we obey it? Because we've been talking about it to ourselves for so long before we ever dropped it and said, I can't do this. You got to help me with it. I got to give it to you. And then the first thing we do is turn around and grab it and put it right back in that backpack, put it back on our back, and walk around with it tomorrow.
Like we know better than God does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well,
you went to him asking for help.
Yeah,
he ain't asking you for the help. He knows how to fix it.
Yeah.
If you would just shut up and listen.
Yeah, that's it, man.
You know?
We look at it like, well, you know what? I want to give it to you, but on the same hand, I'm still going to try to manipulate it.
Yeah, I want to control it.
I want to control it because
it.
As a human, it's human tendencies. You know, we want to have control over our own life, but ultimately, God has a plan for your life. You can fight it, you can try to deflect it, you can try to deny it, but ultimately, God's will is God's will. It's going to happen. You're not going to get away from it.
And He gives you free will to make those decisions.
Exactly. He's trying to guide you because He has a plan for you. You got to learn to listen, man. And sometimes, now, it's the most subtle stuff. Somebody gets put in your path. You know what I mean? It could be somebody with a little bit. You'll see a stranger, and you could be dealing with something, and all of a sudden they'll guide you, or they'll kind of deflect you back down a different path because of something they said, and they have no idea that's what they told you. You know what I mean? That ultimately helped you out. You know what I mean? So,
well, you know, and one thing about both of you guys, and what you do professionally, you know, you see and hear people at their lowest. You know, sheriff's deputy, a dispatcher. You hear people right there when they're at their lowest moments.
Nobody calls 911 to say happy birthday.
Exactly. When they're in need. You know, and it's kind of like us calling on the Lord. Lord, I need help. Well, you know, if somebody's having a heart attack and they call 911 and they say, I need help, somebody's having a heart attack in my home, they need to listen to the 911 operator. That's right. You don't call in and tell the 911 operator how to handle this heart attack. Yeah. Yet when we call on the Lord, we want to dictate how it's handled.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, my heart's broke. The trouble in my world right now. But here's some stipulations on that.
Yeah, you're right. I would agree wholeheartedly.
And I do it. I'm guilty. You guilty?
No, well,
yeah.
I'm saying
You ever been there?
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's human nature, and I think it's defense of the devil trying to take back over. Nah, you ain't really done with that. You know. One of the things I put in my notes for us to talk about a little bit right there is I'm a firm believer that bad things happen to us for good reasons.
I agree.
For good reasons. And I was talking to Trey this afternoon, and he don't remember it. We was young, and Me and Wendy was just starting out. And for those of you that don't know my past, I'm not ashamed of it. Um, my late teens, early 20s, you're looking at a drug addict. You're looking at somebody that's done enough cocaine to fill up this building out here. And I did everything that I could to try to get away from it. Until I finally done the thing I needed to do to get away from it, was make the change myself. Next thing you know, I found Wendy again. We'd known each other and dated off and on. I found her. And next thing you know, we was back together and all. And we lived in a single wide mobile home down here in Broadway. And we had 2 boys. And I'm working in the cotton mill 60, 72 hours a week. And my days off, I'm helping load brick or do construction or whatever I could to make $1 to feed that family.
Exactly.
And we had an old ragged car. And I'm going to work one morning about 6 a.m. It was a record cold morning, the coldest day that's ever been on that date, whatever. Yeah, I'm going down Horner Boulevard to get to the corner of Horner and Wicker, and lo and behold, the piece of junk car we had, she done gave up the ghost. She done blowed an engine.
The looter valve come loose. I'm with it.
Yeah. I pushed it out of the road myself into a used car lot. Buy here, pay here car lot up there. Yeah. And flagged down somebody that was heading that way. One of the guys, luckily was one of the guys that worked at the mill with me. And he gave me the ride to work. I couldn't wait for that store to get open. I got in there on the payphone. You had payphones. And I called down there. And the fella that answered the phone, I said, man, please don't tow my car, man. I can't afford to get it. Please don't. I'll be there as soon as I get off work. Well, lo and behold, I talked to the guy, and he offered me a job in sales. And I told him, I said, look, man, I got a good job out here right now, man. I said, I can't give that up, man. The trailer just got paid for, and I just, but I tell you what, on my days off, I'm generally doing brick work or basically I was labor. I had no skills. I'm the guy that toted brick and toted mortar and daggum toted lumber. And I was strong as an ox back then, but I wasn't very smart. But he offered me a job, man, and he said, well, do this on your days off. And a couple of weeks later, they threw me the keys to run the place. And that transpired into me ended up running, being sales manager over the Toyota dealership and doing sales and finance for a motorcycle and ATV shop, and now doing what I do out at Kubota with tractors and all. But me and Wendy was riding down the road the other day, and lo and behold, there's one of these 1980s Buicks or whatever that car was on the side of the road. And when we passed it, it brought it all together for me almost 30 years later. That car that I cussed and hated so much changed my life and our lives as a family forever. And, there's things in life that, whether it be relationships, whether it be hardships at a job or whatever, that we think right now, man, this is killing me. How can I go on? How can I deal with the loss of this, or not being able to get this promotion, or not having this person in my life, or I don't have what my neighbor's got, or I ain't got what so-and-so's got, or my coworker, how's he get this stuff right here and I can't have it and all that? Be still. Be quiet.
I see it. Right
be
there.
still. Be quiet. Because you may not realize what that blessing was for 30 years.
That's right.
I didn't. I knew my life had changed, but I didn't realize it went back to that car.
Yeah.
It went back to the car.
If that car wouldn't have broke down, you'd have never met that fella.
If I'd had me a brand new pickup
you
truck
still
out
be
there,
picking up brick.
I'd still be picking up daggum bricks and toting mortar and daggum making the payments on that thing. But it allowed me to put my family in a home, feed them. I ain't saying there wasn't tough times. I still have tough times.
Yeah, 100%.
But that right there changed things for me. Yeah.
But see, it wasn't overnight. It wasn't a light switch. It wasn't like, holy crap, I'm in sales now. It morphed into something over time because you put You put the time and effort into it. It wasn't just handed to you, though,
No,
Dusty.
sir.
You got to understand that.
No, sir. When I started
You
out,
worked
when I
at it.
started out selling, I was selling the product nobody wanted to sell to the people nobody wanted to sell to.
That's what I'm saying. You put the work in. Everything that you do, you're gonna reap the rewards. The Bible says you're gonna reap what you sow. It's the same thing. You reap what you sow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was tough times, but you got through them. It made you tougher. It molded you into the person that you are today.
It has.
You know?
It truly has. And, all the people I've met along the way, I thought my life was over whenever I could take it no more in the franchise car business. I was years a new car sales manager there. I thought I had arrived. I'm walking around with my chest bowed out, and I'm the cock of the walk right here with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got humbled and decided one day I just can't take this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back in was it 2008 when the economy crashed so bad and all. And,
Yep.
I'd gone on vacation, and generally with vacation, a couple of days in, I'm already thinking about, all right, when I get back, my team, I'm going blah 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 blah. And this time was different, and I could feel it in my gut. It wasn't right. And I went in. I talked to the general manager up there, and I said, I got 2 weeks worth of vacation, and I just took one, and I got another week owed to me, and I'm gonna take it now. And we're gonna consider this my 2 week notice because I can't come back in here anymore. I feel like when I pull up in the parking lot, I have the anxiety. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I can't take it anymore. And I went home and I told Wendy, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to the mountains. And when I come back, I'll have it figured out. And I went up, my mom had a place up in the mountains. She was living here, and I went up there by myself. And I had my cries. I had my cusses, pulled my drunks.
Yeah.
I did everything that went along with it, and I got it out of me, and I came back, and when I got back, I went to work out there selling motorcycles and ATVs and stuff, and I had a great time out there.
Yeah.
But it allowed me during that time to do a lot of those benefits where we spend a lot of time together, whether it be motorcycle rides, whether it be selling 50/50 tickets for people in the community, whatever. And I think it was a gift that God had given me to help other people.
Yeah.
And with the motorcycle business and a lot of the things that the motorcycle charity rides do, it kind of went hand in hand. And it allowed me to do some things there with it. So again, what I thought was the end of my life with losing this job, or quitting this job, or not being able to handle this job anymore. That's the hardest part to admit is I can't do this anymore. Actually turned out to be a blessing for me, and hopefully it was a blessing to a lot of people that benefited from it.
Oh yeah.
I hope.
I can honestly say that people have benefited just because of that one decision you made. But I want to back up. I want to point something out. It kind of stuck out to me. You said that you pulled up in the parking lot and you took that last week of vacation, and you said you couldn't do this anymore because you felt a certain way. What we have to realize is God closes doors, and sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's this. It's not resentment. It's this gut feeling like, oh my God, I just can't do it. You have to recognize that, not just power through it, but sometimes, not all the time, sometimes God is trying to guide you down a different path as He did you. You know what I'm saying? And I had kind of the same thing. I always wanted to be in law enforcement, and I was working at the city of Sanford in the water department, in the public works side. Man, I was fixing water lines and putting in new taps. I mean, it was a good job, good benefits. I kind of regret not staying, because I'd be a supervisor by now, or even higher, it may be. But I had this feeling like I needed to pursue law enforcement. And, looking back, if I wouldn't have went down the road that I went down, I've had people come up to me, not gloating, humbly I say this, saying, Neil, I don't know what I'd have done if you weren't the one that showed up, I've stopped bad stuff from happening. I've healed people when they cried. I was the one there with them. You know,
I'm fortunate enough to say that I've had you there before while I was crying.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
So, and if I wouldn't have walked away from that good job, which was a great job, I'm not saying nothing bad about the job. Don't take it that way.
Exactly.
I'm not saying nothing bad about it, but I felt this pull, like this calling. You know, like Trey. I watched Trey. I watched you most of your life go from different places, try different stuff, the way we all do, and now you're a dispatcher. I physically heard you on the radio, and I can honestly say this, and this is not me saying anything bad about nobody else, but you're one of the most professional dispatchers that I've ever heard on the radio. Just the way that you conduct yourself and the way that you give out the information, the way that you obtain information from the caller, to where I don't have to ask you any questions. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you work at a completely different entity than I work at. So when I'm scanning, I hear the officer going to, I work for the sheriff's office, and he dispatches for the police department, and I'll hear the officer be going to something, and there are times that I'll hear different dispatchers from different entities and different places where it's like, well, darn, I wonder what's this and what's that, and I have to ask this, and is there any of this going on, or what about that? And that doesn't happen with you. I feel like you found your niche. I really do. I feel like this right here is good for you. I hope you feel like you're helping people, because you are. It may not seem like it all the time, but
A thankless job.
it really truly is. You know, because like we said before, nobody calls 911 to say happy birthday. You know, or sing Christmas carols to you on Christmas Eve. You know, but
Please don't do that. I got an idea. When your birthday?
but there's just a certain ambiance whenever it comes to a job such as Trey's. You know, and I've been in situations where I've been trying to buy stuff at one time, and I went to Dusty. I'm kind of old school. If I know somebody to sell something, I don't care who it is. That's who I'm going to. If somebody's a barber, that's who's cutting my hair. If I know an accountant, that's who's going to do my taxes. That's just the way my mind works.
Me and your hair hitting hard.
Yeah, I know, right? We got the same barber, don't we? But I'm just saying, Trey, you're doing one heck of a job. And if ain't nobody told you that lately, I'm proud of you. And I feel like a lot of us don't hear that enough. Dusty, I'm proud of you. I really am proud of everybody I come in contact with. So if nobody's told y'all lately,
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I really am.
You know, one thing talking about jobs like that with it, I want to kind of go to Trey on that. Because, you know, you hear a lot of times about dispatch. And, you know, people don't realize you've got hopeless people calling in.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times on the other end of the line that I would imagine the dispatcher almost feels hopeless, or what do I do to help this person, or can I even do it?
Yep.
And I think that may be, you know, that's got to be one of the hardest struggles of that job. And, you know, I believe that, again, we go back to God in our professional lives. I believe sometimes what goes through your mind to ask and what to give, you've got the manuals there, but we say things come natural.
Mm-hmm.
You want to speak on that a little?
Yeah, working in 911, it's I don't know. You can have all the sheets and protocols and all that in front of you all you want, but you're going to get calls that there's nothing that you can do. I can walk somebody through CPR for the rest of the day and ain't going to bring them back.
Yeah.
This is the second, third, fourth time this week that so-and-so has overdosed. And it's the second, third, fourth time that I've recommended, try this place out. Go here, do this, do that. And it sucks because, you deal with a lot of the same callers, with the same sort of situations. You deal with a lot of the same people doing the same stuff. amount of calls that I've got on the same person over at the same other person's house, punching the same woman, it's insane. Um,
Kind of feel helpless, right?
yeah,
There's a helplessness feeling when it comes to that.
yeah. It's like,
We feel it too.
what exactly are we doing here? Because we can go out there, we have been, over and over and over and over again, but nothing really changes. And a lot of times I kind of get, especially for me at least, I get sucked into that whole, you know, what's this really all for?
Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? I mean, that's it. It's a bad feeling, man. Trust me, we feel the same way. You know, you go out there, and whether you have to explain to the same person the exact same thing that I'm sure somebody in your setting has done countless times, and you try to walk them through it as painlessly as possible and give them every tool for success, and you're right back out there. But what it reiterates to me in those situations is that evil exists, the devil exists,
Absolutely.
and until somebody realizes that, all we can do is our job. And in that situation, when you feel helpless, Trey, this is a piece of advice I would give you that helps me. You feel like you're not accomplishing anything. You feel like this is just pointless. This is going to be over. Somebody's either going to go to jail or they're going to go to EMS, whatever's going to happen, and then we're going to be back out there next week. Don't think about that. At the very least, you're providing comfort in those times. When those times come up and CPR is pointless, I can't tell you how many people I've performed CPR on. And I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody. I've had families screaming at me, just quit, they're gone, they're gone. I'm not a doctor. I don't stop. I will do CPR until I can't move I physically pass out or EMS shows up or fire or somebody else comes to take over. I don't stop. So that's the mindset you have to have. You are providing something. At the very least, you're providing comfort. You are doing something that a lot of people can't do, son. You're making a difference. And if you don't realize that, dude, I'll tell you every single time. I swear I will, because if it weren't for people like you, I couldn't do my job. So it starts with you. It starts with you, and you are making a difference.
And I'll spin back a little bit with you talk about the same calls and the same callers and the same it's happened again. And people that are in those positions, we tend as the public a lot of times to sort of look down on them. And we look at them and we say, well, that wouldn't happen if you would leave, or this, that, and the other. One thing about no matter whether you're in a bad position that way or whatever you've got going on in your life, nothing changes until something changes.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, it's a matter of you need to change something. Mm-hmm. Change is uncomfortable. None of us like change.
No.
We expect change in our situation, but are we willing to truly change to create the change in our lives?
Yep.
If continuing to do the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same result.
Yeah. Einstein said, how'd he say it? He said,
the definition
of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different to happen.
Yeah.
I can't
remember different results.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough, man. I'm gonna tell you something else, Trey. All right, Dusty, you don't understand what I'm saying. These people that you go to countless times, over and over and over and over, and maybe they have some type of mental disability. There's something going on, and I mean, just being real, they're nutty as a squirrel turd. That's the easiest way to say it. I mean, they need professional help. I had this conversation with a rookie not too long ago, and we came across this individual, and I mean, they were out left field, and they were like, dude, there's nothing we can do. I was like, all right, stop. We have to stop and think about this. What I want you to truly realize, when people, anybody you come in contact with, that you feel like they should be medicated, they truly believe the things that they're saying. Like, this is their reality. Like, truly, I mean, try to accept that in your mind. Just try to really understand that when somebody is saying that Bigfoot's after them or whatever the case may be, say something just so
Schizophrenia.
far-fetched, it's just not feasible. This person in that moment truly feels that way. They truly feel that way. And we have to understand that and acknowledge that. And then that in itself is gonna manipulate my mindset on how to help that person. What's my next step to help this person? Well, most of the time, sometimes it's remove that person from that atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, there was a guy that when he got off his medication, he thought he was paranoid. He thought people were in the woods. So I would go up there countless times, just all the time, and sir, there's nobody here, and we'd walk around the woods. So what I did was when I would pull up, he would always, not always, but he would say, "Where's that little guy at?" Because I ain't 5'5", 5'8". But he would say, "Where's the little short deputy at?" Because what I would do is I'd pull up and he'd say, "Man, they're in the woods, Mr. Knight. They're in the woods, Mr. Knight." So I would get out. I'd take off, run to the woods, pick up a handful of rocks, and be throwing them in the woods. Get out of here! All right, come on in here. And then I would go inside with him with his elderly mother, and I would sit down at the kitchen table, and we would talk about what just happened, and I would get him to take his medication. We wouldn't get another call for like a month. You understand what I'm saying?
You know, you talk about being 5'8".
Yeah.
To that-
5'5",
whatever you are. To that man, you were a giant.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
That's why he wanted that little man, because he was the only one that could help him through that. And I want to talk to you both about something. It may be something that your viewers here need to hear.
Yeah.
But you know, when I talk to you guys about your jobs and your professions and what you do, I hear about the tough situations, and I hear about the things that okay, I get this calls over and over and over with it, and somebody taught me a long time ago about something, and you know, you mentioned about, do I make a difference? Can I make a difference? I'm not making a difference, or this, that, and the other. It's called stinking thinking.
Yeah.
And negative self-talk. See, I've listened to both of y'all talk. You talk about the negative things, and I'm not just talking about on this podcast. I'm talking about in real life.
Yeah.
About the negatives you see. But I want y'all to give your viewers an example of, I'm going to give you one right here. He never told me about it. His boss did. How many of you guys have ever delivered a baby over the telephone?
I never knew that, Trey. That's the first I ever heard of that.
Not long ago. You know, imagine how scared that woman was.
Let him tell it. Let him tell it. Tell me about this baby that you delivered over the telephone.
I can't talk much about it right now. I'm trying to sue for visitation.
That's the Phillips in him. That's the Phillips in him.
No, they get a 911 call. And, obstetrical, so OBGYN baby call.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not entirely sure who it was. I believe that the caller was the patient's father. I think that the woman was at her parents' house.
Okay.
And her water broke. And generally, when your water breaks, you've got, you know, it's a lot of times it's not immediate, but I mean, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know that this baby's gonna be here. So we're going through all the protocol stuff and all that. I can hear her in the background screaming, and they're not contraction pain screams. They're not.
Oh Lord.
They're, oh Lord is coming screams.
Yeah.
Got through that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at everything that I've got, and I'm looking at, you know, just the situation. I'm like, this. I don't know if EMS is gonna make it in time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pulled out the bookwork and literature that I got. And
what did the top of the page say? When there's a baby coming, read this.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. And anyway, so I just walked her through, you know, delivering the baby and everything, and taking care of the umbilical cord and all that. And I was asking, told them to just put me on speakerphone. see any parts of the baby, and I hear the woman in the background go, "No, see, oh my God, there's a head!" I'm
We should laugh at that because that lady is freaking all the way out.
And now
I would have been running to the ABC store. I'm just going to tell you.
Lord have mercy.
Now I'm trying not to scream and go, "Oh my God, there's a head!"
No.
Oh Jesus! So we're doing this.
Well, stop that.
Yeah. Tell them to cut it out.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Anyway, they just followed instructions exactly as I gave them and delivered the baby. And
Did you get to hear the baby scream?
not at first,
Not at first.
Did you scream?
almost.
Yeah.
But baby, the first thing we check on, two things. We're checking on if you ever deliver a baby. Sorry, I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about the baby. I'm worried about the mom.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure that the baby's breathing. We're trying to make sure that the mother's breathing. Make sure everything's good to go there. And I'm talking to I guess I'm not entirely sure. Talking to Grandpa. And, is the baby breathing, making any kind of noise, anything like that? And I hear Grandma say, "I don't know," and then I hear Grandpa in the background go, "Smack him on his butt." And I'm thinking like, yeah, and I'm
Hold on, time out.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, granted, the baby wouldn't listen and stay until he got in the hospital, so it deserved just a little bottom pop.
So
You know?
Grandpa's in the background. You hear him holler, "Smack him on his butt."
That's
Yes.
country's a turnip green. Smack him on his butt.
Country is
Yeah.
cornbread.
yeah, and I'm sitting there like, well, because we're cautious about what to tell them to do in that situation, because I don't want somebody to.
I don't see this in the book.
Yeah. But no, like, I don't want somebody to be like, "Yeah, wake up," and smack the crap out of the baby, ended up hurting it or anything like that. So I'm like, well, give me just a second, let me look here, and I just hear and I hear, "Wah!" And I'm like,
Old man
It
wisdom.
worked.
Old man wisdom. Old man
Old
wisdom.
school, baby.
Yep.
Old school.
no amount of college can.
Hey, I want to take a
Fix
circle.
that.
I want to take a circle back on something you just said right
Yeah,
there.
I'm still suing for visitation. I consider myself the step grandparent.
When you
Uncle,
made that,
uncle.
when you made that call, when you got that call, when you got that
When you
call,
received that
call, you said you did what? You pulled out the book.
Yep.
Guys, I'm gonna make circle on this right here.
Come on with it.
When things are happening in your life and you really don't know what to do or where to turn,
Pull out a book.
you pull out the book, or you go to somebody that can quote you that book.
That's exactly right.
And that goes back to what we were saying a minute ago about the stinking thinking, and no negative self-talk about yourself, guys. How many people have you helped in your line that you've saved lives, that you've prevented injury, that you've just car accidents and things that you've done, and you've got people out of harm's way.
Yeah.
The people that you talk to on the telephones and guide through until I've got help coming. Here's what I need you to do until they get there. You guys help people be able to help themselves until the cavalry can show up and handle it. And but when I hear a lot of my law enforcement, EMS, fire guys, a lot of first military, when I hear a lot of these folks talk, it's generally about the negatives. And I think it's important, no matter who you are, what your profession is, when your feet hit the floor in the morning, thank God for that.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
God for
Yes,
another
sir.
breath and a beautiful day. And when you look in that mirror first thing, find something positive.
I do
You
that.
find something positive and start your day off with positivity. I can't help it. Every day I look in the mirror, I see a good-looking man.
Wendy she's a lucky woman.
I'm like,
Right behind my
I'm like,
wife.
praise the Lord. I still got
She's the second
some of,
luckiest woman.
yeah, I still got some of my teeth. But I think it's important because a lot of your podcast stuff and what it was actually for, and intended to begin with, has to do with that, and it has to
Yeah.
do with our mental
Yeah.
deal with as men.
Yeah.
And things we can handle anything. We hold on
Yeah.
to it. And we hold on to it, and
All right, so I'm a big believer in this. There's a lot of days where you don't feel like nothing has went right. Everything's just negative, negative, negative. Uh, you've fought everything and all that, but you still have things you can be grateful for, and we overlook them constantly every day.
mm-hmm.
Being able to walk on your own, being able to talk on your own, smell, be able to hear what I'm saying right now, being able to breathe on my own without a machine. There are people in this world that are disabled. People that were either born with a disability, they were in a car wreck, something happened to them along the way, and they don't have the privilege of being able to just be able to stand up out of the bed in the morning. And I thank God for that. Whenever I feel that I get that like a negative thinking, a stinking thinking, like you said, I try to remind myself. I stop for a second. I breathe through my nose and out my mouth, and I do my breathing exercise, and I say, God, thank you for letting me be able to walk. Thank you for letting me be able to hear the things that I am saying to you right now. Thank you for the blessings of being able to smell food, being able to eat on my own. Those little things that I overlook every single day that I take for granted, and it puts me back into a mindset that's a positive mindset, and I'm able to look at something in a different way.
We're all one heartbeat away
Yep.
from being that person, or one phone call away from tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what it's like to receive and haven't received it. You will.
Yep.
And
And this job that like Trey has, that I have, it's so easy to get caught up in the negativity, because to somebody that's never done it before, it don't matter if you've been to the house one time or 100 times. When you show up, it's always negative. There's nothing positive that's going on. Okay, I'll give you an example. You're talking about stay positive. In our job, we don't, law enforcement, military, first responders, 911 communications, everybody wants to hear the war stories. They want to talk about, man, well, how fast have you gone? Have you ever had to do this? You ever tased anybody? Have you ever heard anybody this or that? We don't like talking about those things.
And I'm guilty of asking you those things.
And yeah.
I'm not in your...
And in some situations, I don't mind answering those questions. I can tell you the time that I ran 140 mile an hour, everything I could do, because there was an officer screaming for help on the other side of the county. We'll get into it in a minute. There's a big difference between the police department and the county. We'll get into that. But what I truly like talking about, what I live for, I swear on everything, the best part of this job is the kids. You go to the Golden Corral, you stop at the pantry, you go stop by the school. There was a birthday party. I was working day shift probably about a month and a half ago, backside of July, and there was this water slide on the side of the road up here, and they was youngins having a time of their life. And I knew one of the relatives, so I got on the loudspeaker and said, "How much you gonna charge me if I want to go down that slide?" On the PA in the county car, and they hollering like, "Oh God, that's the police!" So I pull in the driveway, and it's a little youngest birthday, and the daddy comes out there, and I knew it's Scooby, one of my buddies, Scooby. He come out the house, did not know that was his family's house. Anyway, Scooby comes out there, we sitting there talking, we bull jiving. And I said, "So, you didn't ever ask me a question now? Hey, how much you gonna charge me?" He said, "All I charge you is let me take a video and put it online." I said, "Wrong bluff, bro." And I went to Papa Bellkeeper. I was gonna climb on that slide.
Ride.
And then they called me on the radio.
He wore his good underwear that day, so he was prepared.
They called me on the radio, and I got a call, and I had to leave. But before I left, I called over the birthday girl, and I always carry teddy bears in the back of the car. So before it's soaking wet, I don't care at all. I don't care where you're from. I don't care where I'm at. I pulled up in the middle of the projects, in the middle of the highfalutin houses in the subdivision. Youngins can blow the siren on the car and cut the lights on anytime they want to. I don't care about none of that. Okay, I try to give a positive influence on law enforcement. It's not always negative. When we show up, we walk to the schools or something. I don't want them to have a negative outlook on law enforcement. But this little young is soaking wet, and her baby so jumps in the car, and she's sitting there cutting the lights on. She's flipping switches and all kinds of stuff, having the time of her life. And I give her a teddy bear at the end. And when she walked away and she wouldn't give that teddy bear up, the mama, so she could go get back on her. She was going down that slide with that teddy bear. That was gonna happen.
We'll
But
give her another.
the joy that I got from that, that's what I live for. I live for going into the schools, the kindergarten classes, and getting them youngins wide open and then leaving. Them teachers hate me.
Okay, bye.
I go in there and get
going to
these
grandma's house and get them sugared up and send them back home.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same idea.
A couple of pictures that I had of Trey this like that. You talk about the kids.
Yeah.
But when Trey first went to work at the sheriff's department years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a picture of him out there smiling with his new uniform and stuff on. But there was
Like
a
the first
morning.
day of school.
It was. But there was a morning. I'm gonna get you to touch on this, Trey. There was a morning he'd stop by, get a cup of coffee or something along that line. He stopped at a Circle K or something here in town, and he put a picture out there of some kids wanting a picture, and he had a picture with these kids, and I don't know who was smiling more.
Yeah.
In the picture,
Oh, yeah.
him or the children.
So there was this.
You forgot about that, didn't you?
Yeah. There was
It's the little things, man. It's the little things.
A girl and her mom. They were hugs for somebody. But basically, their whole thing was going around all over the place and giving hugs to law enforcement.
Oh, I think I know.
You remember?
Yes,
You remember that girl's
yes.
name? There's a little girl and her mom that were all over the place.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, yeah. There's another little girl that does like Christmas tree orange. Go ahead. I'm listening.
But I was working night shift that night when I worked at the jail. That was a fun job. And we
Every day's an adventure.
oh yeah, every day. But working night shift, so I'd go into a gas station and grab coffee and healthy Doritos, Pepsi, and Dr.
The nacho
Pepper.
cheese guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
those are the healthy ones.
Cool Ranch.
That's right, the Cool Ranch. Yeah,
Vegetarian.
that's what's bad.
Yeah, vegetarian.
But yeah, so I'm going in there to grab my supplies before I go in and work night shift. And this little girl and her mama come walking out the store, and there's got I hear a window rolled down, and I just hear, "Hey, wait, go, come here, wait, come here." I'm like, "Okay,
What I done?
yeah." I've had it before where I worked in the jail, but our uniforms had the little
At the star.
badge. So the people come up to me and say, so just robbed me and they just cut me off and somebody's selling drugs. And I got to tell them I can't.
Yeah, I
can't
work in
help you.
jail.
I can't, yeah.
I'll get somebody over here.
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
call somebody for you, but I
Yeah.
can't.
Broadway Auxiliary.
That's right. But, yeah, so I walk over there and this old girl comes running out past the side and tells me who she is, what she's done. I'd seen her before at the sheriff's office, like earlier that week. But again, I work in the jail, and they're not going to let a 6-year-old come to jail to go
Yeah.
hug me, so I got left out of that. And, yeah.
Well, why not?
Yeah. Don't worry about him. He talks to the color orange. It's fine. But anyway, so she tells me, and I'm like, okay, I've seen you, and gives me a hug, and Mama takes my picture. And I didn't think much about it until a week or two later, something that posted on the internet. That's cool.
But those are things right there, guys, with what y'all do, professionally, that, again, you forgot all about that.
Yeah.
You got reminded of going out there and throwing rocks at the boogeyman in the woods.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of days that you come home, me in sales when I've had a big day, or after y'all have had delivered a baby or saved a life or whatever, and you're coming home, you're by yourself, you got your fist in the air. I did it today. I did it.
Yep.
I did this. But then we tend to stick those in a memory bank or in a filing cabinet, and we dwell on the negatives.
Yes, we do.
And we tend to, the further they stay in these memory banks, get back there, they get lost in the files.
Yeah.
positive thinking is important for mental health.
Oh yeah, and it's contagious. Positive thinking, negative thinking is contagious.
It's hard to be
Uh,
negative around a positive person.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I would venture. Look, I would tell you to try this and put this to the test. I've done it. I've tried little science experiments. Call me Bill Nye the Science Guy. Look, I've showed up at work and I have seen them. Neil, what's going on this morning? How you feeling? Man, I done this, and this, and I tell them all kinds of negative things that happened to me that morning. I done spilt my coffee. The car wouldn't crank up. My wife didn't have my clothes set out right and all this stuff, right? And I can't believe all this crap. And I'll come back at lunchtime and check on them. Hey, man, how's your day going? Man, let me tell you all this negative stuff. And all of a sudden, they're negative. It's contagious. But it's the exact same thing if you do pop. Man, how's your morning going? Praise God, I'm alive.
Better not deserve.
Hey, son, come on. This side of the grass is a good day. When you do that, you come back at lunchtime, not all the time, but more oftentimes than not, you have affected their day. Because you are a positive person. That's why people think that it's not that I'm just I am a positive person. I try to look at the bright side. I really do. In every situation, I try to find something good. But really and truly, man, I do it not just for my own mentality. I do it for others. Because I acknowledge that it is contagious. That I'm gonna affect you somehow, some way. You know what I mean? So
Some mornings you just got to get up and fake it until you make it.
That's exactly right.
You know,
Exactly right.
I walk into work a lot of times, and my wife, you got to leave her alone for an hour or so in the mornings when she gets up. I'm generally gone before she ever gets out of bed.
Yeah.
But you know, walk through work tomorrow. It's a beautiful morning, and you're gonna have the grumbles. Oh, shut up! What's so beautiful about it? Keep singing it. Keep singing it
Over and over.
because I'm gonna tell you by the end of the day, it's going to catch on, and you can't always be that person, but if it becomes contagious, mornings that you can't be that person,
The other people will.
somebody else is liable to come through, toe tapping, faking it until they make it, and next thing you know, you're singing along.
Yep.
You know, I think it's important that you be that person and be that light in the world to others.
I agree. And that's what UH Stuck is trying to do. That's the truth. We've been the people that needed somebody, and there wasn't really a particular person that we could call. We have those people in our family that would try to uplift us, but ultimately they don't know what you're going through because you're too quiet about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with the relatability side, when somebody does struggle, they can call you. And Bo, we lock down like Fort Knox. We don't talk about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a non-disclosure. So it does help in that sense. And man, we get all kinds of calls for all kinds of reasons. And it really does feel good to be able to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been that person. You've seen me at some of my lowest points, Dusty Phillips. Trey, you have. Y'all seen me. Man, what's going on, Neil? Man, what about it? And just lowest of the low.
And sometimes it's a total stranger that can bring clarity to you. And I'll give you an example of that. You mentioned church this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Went to church this morning. Our pastor's on vacation, and we had a guest pastor there. Mr. Terry Pleasance owns the carpenter shop out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, generally when you go to church, you got a guest pastor or whatever. You're like, okay, we're going to go through the formality of church today. It's a fill in. We're going to do it. I'm going to tell you, Mr. Terry Pleasant brought a message today to our congregation at Jupiter Springs Baptist Church that moved me. It was it wasn't a matter that I'm filling the void, I'm filling the gap. It is, I am touching souls. And I'm going to touch on things that you feel and the things you fight. And being that kind of person to others, sometimes it's a total stranger that affects your life.
Yeah.
That can change your life forever. Whether it be a sheriff's deputy, a police officer, a dispatcher, You know, I don't know how much.
Bricklayer. It could be a janitor from the elementary school.
Just
Anybody.
just somebody being kind first thing in the morning. When you're coming out with your cup of coffee from the Circle K, holding the door for somebody and wishing them a good morning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or telling them, hey, two people love you, me and Jesus.
That's right.
You know,
That's right. That's where it comes from. We'll get into that in a minute.
that person's liable to walk in there, get their cup of coffee, scratching their head, talking about, what did he say?
Yeah.
And it's gonna resonate with him all day. Yeah.
That fool told me he loved me this morning.
Love
Some
me like,
random, great big old bald-headed fella up at Circle K.
me and Jesus, man. I love you.
Who loves you?
And,
Dusty and Jesus.
You know,
That's right.
that's something that you know, be the change and be the positive in somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about your videos. You guys, you ain't stuck. A lot of my mornings I get to work. I'm one of these. I get to work an hour before the rest of most of the time. I get my stuff done. I play a little bit on Facebook. I go out and smoke my cigarettes and drink my coffee and all, and get right. There's a lot of mornings that I flip through there. Hey, Neil's got a video, and I watch that video, and I'm appreciative of them. You have no idea how much they touch people on this side of it, and again, I go back to professionally with y'all. You don't know how much you help people and touch people that never say thank you, but they were eternally grateful for you. They don't remember your name, but they remember what you did, and they remember your face or your voice.
Yeah.
And you make differences out there each and every day. I don't care what your job is. You can make a difference in somebody's life.
This is crazy. So every year, there's a fella I help up at the state fair. He's got the ride. He does the sky lift. Named Robert. One of the best people you'll ever meet in your life. Will give you the shirt off his back, right? Anyways, I got hooked up with him through my captain at the time, and anyways, I go up there and I'm helping him, and I'm standing there and all I'm doing is scanning tickets. Boy, I'm in the zone. I mean, thousands of people. They had lines wrapped all the way around, and I beep, 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 good, go ahead. And I'm talking junk to everybody. We're having a big time. Put that thing up here, beep, that thing ain't saying I'm messing with going on. And I'm just messing with people. And this random person, and I'd love to figure out who it is. So if you see anything, look, you caught me off guard. So I'm standing there, buddy, and I mean, and whenever the line all of a sudden it'll stop, I'll stop and I'll look at him. So what's going on, man? You getting any cotton candy today? And I'll just mess with them. You know what I mean? They ain't got no idea I'm the police back here in a little bit of Lee County. You know, I'm up there in the middle of the big city up there at Raleigh, you know, in the middle of all these people that are probably never going to remember my face, you know. So I like talking junk to people. This random guy comes up, and I don't mean that in a negative way, just person I've never met before in my life. He walks up to me, and right when I'm sitting there talking to him and his wife or girlfriend or sister, whomever the lady was with him, and the line goes to move and goes to walk off, and he sticks his hand out, and he says, hey, man, I love your videos. Bruh! Come on now! And it caught me so far off guard. Looking back, I wish I'd have said selfie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bruh, hey man, I made it to Raleigh.
I got a fan.
It just caught me so far off guard, you know. And I would love just to meet this guy, to shake his hand. I think we did a fist bump, or maybe I shook his hand real quick or something, and I said something to the effect of, man, I appreciate your support, or something of that nature. And then moved on, and I went right back. And then by the time he was moving off into the horizon on the ride, I stopped and was like, that fool knew who I was. That's wild. It was a weird feeling. You know what I mean? And what's crazy to me, doing the things that I've been doing, you know, we've been to Vegas speaking, we deal with the military, we deal with all kinds of first responders, we deal with average Joes, anybody and everybody throughout life. We've been in pool pits, we've raised money, we put on events, we've done all these things. It's crazy. We're a legit nonprofit. Started with one video. It's crazy, right? But what's wild and befuddling to me is I'm no different than you. I'm no different than you, okay? I truly feel that God gives everybody a gift at birth. That's my honest opinion. He gives everybody something. Your gift is whatever task you can perform the best with the least amount of effort. That is your gift. That's what you should pursue. My gift is relatability. I can relate to anybody, anywhere, at any time, to some degree. Okay, because of whether it's the crap I've been through, or the stuff that the things I've experienced, having to deal with this and that, the faith that I have now, whatever it is, I can relate to that to somebody to some degree. You know, and that's the gift I feel like God's bestowed upon me. And what's crazy is seeing how people think that, oh my God, Bill's got it figured out. That's the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard of. I ain't got nothing figured out. I stumbling just like the rest of them.
I gotta pull out the book.
I'm telling you, man, it's wild to me how people come up and they'll ask me my opinion, and I'll give anybody my opinion. It don't bother me to talk to them.
Really?
100%. Ask me, I'll tell you. You know, but the difference is I don't take your feelings into account when you ask my opinion for one reason. I want you to flourish. There's no reason for me to beat around the bush. There's no reason for me to hem-haw around, so to speak, to delay you further. I'd rather be the biggest butthole in the world and give you the most best sound advice I could give you, and you try to follow that. As an outsider looking in, trying to lead you down the right path. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go to heaven alone than to hell with a herd mentality. You know?
And you know, as a man, honestly, tough love is harder to give than it is to receive. To be able to look somebody in the eye, so I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear.
Yep.
But you asked.
Yep. Yep.
So, and you need this.
Here it is. This is a disclaimer I give. And I've got so much backlash from this. But I give this disclaimer. When somebody says, Neil, I need your honest opinion, I'm going to tell you what's going on. Can you help me? 100%. Before we start, just know this. This is the disclaimer I tell everybody. You're asking for my opinion. Understand that I'm not responsible for your feelings about my opinion. That's hard to accept.
Yeah.
That's very hard to accept as a man, as a person, as a grown adult, or as a teenager especially.
Now, do you want it?
Do you understand what I'm telling you? I will tell you I want the best for you, but I'm not taking your feelings into account. I'm going to give you the best sound advice I can give you at that time. You understand that? And then everybody, every time, yeah, man, just hear me out, because they're so desperate to try to figure out whatever it is that they have. Sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's relationship, sometimes it's career path, whatever it is. And then I tell them that, and I am the biggest butthole that walks the face of the earth. And it's because I tell them, look, I'm not saying this out of anger. I'm saying this because I love you. Because I want nothing but the best for you. You know what I'm saying? I've had people hang up. I've had people cuss me out next time they see me. I mean, it's wild.
You know, needles and scalpels don't feel good, but they save lives.
That's exactly right. That's it. My man.
You know?
I like that. Needles and scalpels don't feel good, but they save your life. My man. That's the truth. Y'all heard it right there. So if you hear me say that again, it come from that man. The Dusty and Jesus thing, the Neil and Jesus thing that I say at the end of all of our videos, Taylor and Jesus, Malcolm and Jesus. You know, four of us, you know, all four of us and Jesus or whatever. That came from Dusty, so I just want to make sure. So back in the day, I used to hang out with
I'm sure
Dusty.
I stole it from somebody.
But one day it just resonated with me. He said, boy, who loves you? And I looked at him kind of cockeyed crazy, and I said, what do you mean? He said, Dusty and Jesus love you, boy. And it made me feel good, man. And it became like this tit for tat thing we started going back and forth with. And that's where it came from. So Dusty, he started something without even knowing he started something. I've had other people come to me, you know, at work. You know, I walk into the sheriff's office, you got a bunch of grown, manly deputy men, some of the administration, lieutenants, captains, all kinds of people walk by, and I say, who loves you, boy? He'll say, Neil and Jesus.
Amen.
You know, and it reiterates that, look, we as humans don't get told enough that we love each other. You know what I'm saying? My wife tells me she loves me, my mama and all that. But I am comfortable enough as a grown man.
So they got to.
Yeah.
They got to.
Mama and my wife got to. My wife signed documentation that says she loves me.
Forever and
Yeah,
ever.
gotcha. So, anyways, but that's where it comes from. Just to make sure that people know, look, you are loved. And if you don't feel like you're loved, and again, it makes people think like, holy crap, this grown, bald-headed man just looked at me and said, I love you, boy. You know, and it kind of, it throws everything out of whack because, you know, when I was coming up, probably like a lot of you, Trey, we didn't have that soft side because, you know, when I was coming up, my daddy was trying to raise a man, you know, the best way he did. And then he learned that from his father, and his father learned that from his father over and over. And somewhere along the line, you know, it turns into the masculinity thing. If you can't handle something, or if you cry, or if you emotionally break down, you mentally just can't take it anymore. You're not a man. You can't hack it. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. But everybody processes things differently. I'm not telling you to be soft.
But there's not a man in this room, and there's not a man watching this podcast right here that can. I don't care how rough and tough you are. You've been brought to your knees. Something has brought you to your knees, and you may have kept it to yourself. You may have limited who you gave it to. Yeah. You may have been embarrassed by it, whatever. But you're not that tough. No. But you ain't stuck.
I ain't say it again. Come on.
You know, you ain't that tough. But you also ain't, you going through something millions of other people have gone through. Other men have gone through.
Yeah. Over the years, yeah.
You feel like this is unique to you.
And it's not. It's not.
You know?
It's not.
Only the names have changed, but
that's exactly right.
What's the song?
And look, and the instruction manual ain't never changed. It's called the Bible. The Bible has an answer. Yeah.
Pull out the manual.
All you got to do, every answer that you could ever need is in that book. If you're having problems with your marriage, the answer is in the book. If you have, hey, G Money Comics, here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, brought some of them diet Doritos with him. Let me sit up just a second.
Go ahead, open them up.
Sponsored by this episode of You Ain't Stuck, brought to you by what kind of Doritos are these? Golden Sriracha.
Golden Sriracha. That's great.
Good to see you, Grant.
But anyways,
gluten-free ones I was talking about.
We're probably we're gonna wrap it up here in just a second. But anyway, I don't remember where we were at. But
that you ain't unique.
Yeah.
Millions of others.
Oh no, 100%. You're not unique whenever it comes to these problems that you think that you have in your own mind. You know, we always try to set ourselves apart from the pack. But ultimately, man, you know, I had somebody say this. I had somebody tell me this a while back. That we all try to compare ourselves to some type. Have you ever tried to compare yourself to somebody in the Bible, like King David, for example? You know, like, okay, King David, David and Goliath. Okay, think about this. Like, if you were going to be, who would you try to mimic your life and everything that you've been through? Who were you most like out of the Bible, right? Like, we do that with movies. You know, like The Punisher or something of that degree. You know what I'm saying? We try to relate to some type of actor. So if you do that and you take the Bible, for example, right? I look at like King David. I like to compare myself, like, not saying I'm as good as King David because I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, because of King like David and Goliath, he was little, I'm little. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I come up fighting. He wasn't scared to throw hands. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I had somebody explain this to me. I saw a video, or I was talking to a preacher, and he told me, he said that I want to say it was a preacher. He said, Neil, you know, you might think that you're like somebody like David and Goliath, like King David, but really you one of them scared soldiers at the back of the pack. Man, I hope he takes him out, so I ain't got to go up there. Man, that humbled me. You know, you're not as important and you're not as thought of the way that you think you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to humble yourself, and I try to do that all the time. You know, I did that with my shift the other day. Some stuff went on. There was some stuff that could have went better than what it did. Kind of like flowing wise on the shift. This person could have went here and this could have done that. And I've been doing this, going on 15 years. I should have saw it. So I'm a man enough to where at the beginning of the day on day shift, I literally looked at my entire shift and said, guys, listen, I've been praying on this. I feel like I need to tell y'all this. I messed up. And to them, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't but I should have caught it. You know what I'm saying? So I addressed that and said, look, I'm going to do better. I dropped the ball on this. This is not your fault. Neil, it's not that big a deal. Maybe not to y'all, but it is to me because I could have prevented this heartache, this aggravation. I should have done this. Therefore, I'm going to in the future. And I want you to hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, and that's professionally just like our personal lives. You're going to make mistakes in your job. You're going to make mistakes in your marriage. You're going to make mistakes in raising your children. You're going to make our lives are nothing but mistakes. And then hopefully you can pass out on. I hope I can pass on to my son the mistakes that I've made and how not to make those mistakes or what to expect when you do make those mistakes. You know?
Yeah.
Those sort of things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a firm believer with me. I'm going to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like I'm probably going to get grass seats. I ain't going to be nowhere near the stage. I'm not going to be in the pavilion. I don't think I've earned that by any means.
Yeah.
But from what the book tells me right there, and I'm a true believer, I feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that my name's in the book.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, look, bro. I'll take them grass seats.
Yes, sir.
Whatever he wants to give me, I'm good
I will
with.
clean toilets.
Yeah. Look, I told somebody the other day, I said, they were talking about how busy I am, and I got like 5 jobs, counting the nonprofit, 4 if you don't count nonprofit. They were talking about, Neil, you're going to die of a heart attack. You got to slow down. You got to slow down. I said, son, I have wasted years of my life with the devil. I ain't stopping. The Lord knows when he's going to call me to the house, and I'm good with it, right? Yeah. But I said, now, the day I die, I'm probably going to get to the pearly gates, and old boy going to look at me and say, Neil, I'm glad you're here. This chair is wild. And, you know and I might be
I will be glad.
Hey, bro,
where's your toolbox?
Or Neil, look, we're building this mansion for such and such. We need a cut man. You ready? You cut them bite? Yes, sir.
There's a little rest say, and how.
As long as I can slip through them gates, son,
Yeah,
I'm good with it, baby.
please.
I am good with it.
You know,
And
you mentioned that
that's,
about leaving there, and I'm gonna bring up one more point.
Yeah.
And I heard a pastor say this one time, and it was somebody giving me a CD to listen to, and the guy was talking about it. He said, you know, I'm a pastor. He said, and my buddy called me the other day,
mm-hmm.
and he said, you know, my mama, she's 90-something years old. She's in a nursing home. She's in her last days. He said, do you mind? He said, can you go by there and pray with her? And he said, certainly, you know, I'll be happy to do that. He said, I got to heading over to the nursing home. I didn't know the lady. Mm-hmm. He said, I got to heading to the nursing home, and on the way I got to thinking, what am I going to say to this lady when I get there? Mm-hmm. This lady has seen world wars. Mm-hmm. She's seen the Great Depression. She's seen a man land on the moon. She has seen vaccines. She has seen so much. What am I going to say to this lady when I get there? He said, you know, I walked in the door, I went to her room, told her who I was. He said, sweetie, I'll see you when I get there.
My man.
He said, because the problem that we have is we talk about how great heaven's going to be. We talk about there ain't no more pain, there ain't no more sorrow, there are no tears, there's no sickness. Streets of gold. Mm-hmm. The bus shows up, and we're scared to get on it.
That's deep right
Let
there.
that sink in.
Yes, sir.
The bus is there, and we're scared to get on it.
Yep.
If my time on earth ended tonight, it's been one heck of a ride, and I appreciate the friends and everything that God has blessed me with in this life. Mm-hmm. But when it's time to get on that bus and go home, I ain't scared.
Buddy, I'm jumping through the window. You hear me?
Head first. I'm probably going to have to ride on top of the bus, like I said.
As long as I get there, baby.
And slip through the gate.
My
grass
man.
Seats.
My man. Mm-hmm. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm good with it, buddy. I know.
I ain't good. I'm just forgiving.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't deserve it. But that ain't the way it works. Jesus said I could go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Jesus said I could go.
Jesus said I could be here. Jesus said. Man. So, we've been here for a little while. First off, I'm going to have to, whenever we're sitting here talking, you know, I'm in here moving and I can see the table move. So, we apologize for all the stability
That's
stuff.
That's probably my feet on there. This wooden chair, I should have brought me a cushion right there. There's a lot of weight on this wooden chair back here.
So one of the things that we do here, whenever we're getting ready to wrap up, I always ask this question. And so I'm going to ask y'all, and I want to see what y'all have to say. if you could give one piece of advice to anybody in the world, what would it be? Trey, Dusty, if you could give one piece of advice, or you could say one thing, not one word, but you could say something to where it would improve somebody's life, or you try to give them advice, what would you say?
I don't know. I'm not really at a point in my life where I can give much advice. I've got my fair share of problems. Going through my own crap, kind of like all of us do. But something I learned years ago, I talk about fight or flight.
Okay.
The fight or flight instinct, this or that, well, there's a third part of that that's called freeze that I didn't know about until several years ago. And I think that freezing in situations like that is the most dangerous thing that you can do. So you come to a situation that's tough, come to something dangerous, something depressing, something whatever. Go left, go right. It doesn't matter which way you go, but go. Don't freeze.
Don't freeze. I like it. That's deep right there.
Yeah.
That means that right there makes a lot of sense to me. Like I resignate, not regulate, but I resignate. I gotta articulate a little bit more better, but
No better.
yeah, a whole lot more better. Anyways, all right, what you got?
Yeah, mine kind of feeds off of that as well, man. You know, no matter what you're going through, we all go through it. And the old saying that you're either in the middle of a storm, you're just coming out of a storm, or you're heading into one. And it's going to happen through life. You keep pushing. You don't freeze.
Yeah.
You keep pushing, and you keep pushing forward. And we like to talk. But whenever you go to God in prayer, shut up and listen. You ask for his help. Now shut up and listen. And we get in our own way, folks. We get in our own way and keep pushing forward through the good times, the bad, the times you made the boneheaded move and messed up. You can't just stay there and waller in it. You know, you can't just waller in it. You've got to move forward, accept what you've done, apologize to those that you owe that apology to, apologize to yourself, ask forgiveness from God, and move forward and put it behind you.
My man. Man, well, I can't thank y'all enough for being on the podcast with us today. I have no idea what episode number this is at this point. We still trying to figure out all kinds of stuff. My main man, G Money, just walked in. Old Grant Connick, the technological genius. When you ain't stuck, he's here. He's going to go to pushing buttons. And how. But, again, we appreciate all y'all being here tuning in. Reach out to us.
Appreciate you
thank
having
y'all.
us on there, guys.
Thank y'all. Reach out to us if we can help you out in any way, shape, form, or fashion. If you want to be a guest, like I said, we got a whole bunch of people lined up. I don't know how long it'll be, but I guarantee your name will go on the list. If you have any ideas on what you want us to speak on, or anybody in particular you would like us to reach out to, any way we can help, that's what we're here for. Reach out to us, send us a message, text us, call us, stop by the house. Don't call 911. That's all I'm going to ask. But we're here for you. And
Unless
today,
you're having a baby.
Yeah, unless you're having a baby. Then my main man Trey's got
Unless
you.
I'm there, I'll talk to you.
So, well, today, there's 4 people in this world that love you. That's Neil, Dusty, Trey, and Jesus.
Amen.
Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless each and every one of y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Damn, man. Was our half